My name is Francisco. I'm a third-year student at Bentley University, majoring in finance. Today I'm going to talk about the financial crisis. When people mention and reflect about the financial crisis, they look a year back and say, this was a black swan, which means it's a once in a 100-year event. It was unforeseeable. It was unavoidable. But my research in finance and working to present here today has indicated this actually was a foreseeable event that could have been avoided. Today I'm going to talk about three main points: what went wrong, what seeded the financial crisis, brief possible solutions, two brief solutions that could, if implemented, could help avoid and prevent another financial crisis, and looking back a year and saying, have we learned anything? Is there anything being done today to prevent another financial crisis? To explain the financial crisis, one has to look back to the late 1990s, when the economy was booming, stocks were going up, everything was going very well. But in the late 2000s, late 1999s and 2000s, stock market started going down. And in 2001, we had the unfortunate event of 9/11. This prompted Alan Greenspan, the former Federal Reserve Chairman, to cut interest rates very, very low to 2%. He believed that because of the stock market's crash in the 2000s and because of the September 11 events, people could begin to panic and stop spending, stop borrowing money, stop stimulating the economy. And this could lead to the economy collapsing. So by lowering interest rates, he wanted to stimulate the economy. He wanted people to borrow. He wanted people to lend. But what happened was that our economy did recover, and his actions did help. But instead of raising interest rates when the economy was already strong, interest rates were kept lower, and they were actually decreased, as you can see. In the first gray area, the first recession in this recession ended, and interest rates were kept low and cut again. So as the economy recovered and remained strong, when you have low interest rates, too much money can be circulating. And then too much money could actually be chasing too few goods. And what it was chasing was housing. Now traditionally, since the 1950s to today, to late 90s, housing prices remained in a trend. Sometimes it went up and sometimes it went down, but they usually appreciated about 1% above inflation until interest rates were low when the Greenspan. And when there was so much money available after we came out of the first recession pretty strong, after the 9/11 events, all this money began to chase houses. A lot of money being lent to homeowners, and then housing prices kept going up. Since housing prices kept going up, bankers became even more motivated to lend, and it's because the interest rates were still low, it kind of was a ripple effect going up, and it led to a housing bubble, as you can see. And not only did bankers lend a lot, way too much, and they were able to do this because of low interest rates, but they had too much debt. And as you can see here, the top 10 US banks in 2007 and 2008 had very high leverage ratios. For example, in 2007, they had a 26-to-1 leverage ratio. What this means is that for every $1 in shareholder money in a bank, it was $26 of assets. So that means there was a lot of debt financing these assets, because $1 can't finance $26 of assets. It's impossible. Only $1 can finance $1.